trying to offset me with a McGarnagle.
McGonagall. This is an arc McGonagall.
What?
This is
It's
an
an
arc.
episode.
This is an arc
It's an episode.
analysis.
No, it's just epo analysis.
This is an arc analysis. This is.
Arc analysis.
We are.
Comic Patrol.
I was gonna say this is again, but that doesn't.
Patrol. Comic. The. Right? Yeah.
Saga Volume 4.
Woo.
Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples. So I always like when books give like subtitles to their volumes. Volume
Yeah.
1. This one doesn't do that. It's just Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4. There's no.
Subtitle.
But maybe they're onto something here because this thing's been like consistent.
The whole saga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The saga of the saga.
Yeah. I agree.
Bearing the lead a little bit there, but
Are you? What did you say? You just said
it's been consistent.
I was only going to say that I liked that we were consistently staying with a book.
Oh, yes, that's true too. Yeah.
And we're on Saga still, and
We've been consistent. The book's been consistent. It's from 2014, by the way. This art. Cover threw me for a loop because I didn't know who that was. It's nostalgic for me because I remember seeing it all over at the comic shop.
oh, that was the poster. That was like the
That was the
billboard.
poster. That was because it was
Okay.
like really starting to blow up at that point, right? I think it had taken a
Yeah,
break after Volume 3, and then they brought out Volume 4, and it was that girl or the woman or alien female dressed up in the green and gold with the big hair. And that was all
right.
that was all over the place. Chapter 19. So I was like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, this is this book. You got to read it." So I was like, "I don't know about that. I want to get my Spider-Man."
I guess
But
sure.
I feel like I almost should have jumped into that point, but I never did.
No, I was just saying like it was a cool spin, and you can see how that can be marketable to
Yeah.
a lot of people attending a comic shop. But the
Yes.
spin on it was really cool because she turned out to just be like a wrestling actress
Hmm.
for a stage show.
You were saying before we started recording too. This is like a time jump. It's a time jump story in the story, not by too much, but I guess by like a year or two.
Sizable enough, right? Like there's stability with all the characters now.
Yeah, and they're kind of set in like we missed what happens between Volume 3 and Volume 4, but it doesn't feel like you missed much. It's like one of those things where it's okay because I guess you missed a bunch of fluff because it's Alana's now got a job and
Hmm.
Margot is like the stay-at-home dad and Hazel's now like I guess two.
Yeah, the growing child. But I like the transitions between those worlds because they often use Hazel, and like her pages were more, I guess, joyful and like happy and inquisitive kind of thing.
Yeah.
The only flip was how their parents were doing what they had to do to make sure that she had that specific life. But then you get the amazing trope that like I think every time we talk about Saga, we realize and then don't realize how Hazel still being the narrator for the story puts such a different perspective on everything you're reading that it's another level of like, man, this is really good writing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bear the lead now. Like this was a really good story. A lot of stuff happened, or arc, I should say, and I thought they did such a smart job in so many different places, especially with a time jump because it doesn't always work, especially for me, right? Like I like either a consistent thing, which is kind of impossible to do in a comic, but to increase the time and then change the characters because there are so many new characters introduced in these four, five, how many issues?
It's 6 issues.
It was a fun and crazy read.
Time jumps are funny things because you're saying sometimes they don't. A lot of times they don't work out. I think because either they go too far or too much changes. In this time jump, kind of skips over like the not so exciting things, like them getting situated into their new lives. It's just kind of like, all right, we escaped the last volume, right? They're out of that mess, and now this is like their new life, and this is what it's like. It's the same characters that but now Alana's doing this, Marco's doing this, Hazel's a little bit older. Everything else is
Yeah,
pretty much the same, right? It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Like they have their own world, right? Like Marco's dealing with being the stay-at-home father. Do you buy his disguise? Like if I put tape around my forehead, nose, and chin, like you wouldn't know it's me.
No, it looks well. It looks ridiculous. I think that type of disguise draws more attention to you.
Yeah, it's like, who is this guy?
Yeah. Look at this right out of the Doom Patrol, you know what I mean? Like he's all wrapped up. It's like he's trying to get his kids some exercise, right? But also he's also trying to live a little because he's bored to tears at home. Like he doesn't say that, but you can tell because Alana's out doing her thing. They have that open circuit. She works for this thing called the Open Circuit, which is basically
Mhm.
streamers. It's like a
Right.
streaming show that kind of is broadcast across the galaxy.
Yeah, in like a cool interdimensional way because you
Yeah,
can break the fourth wall, which like breaks into the theater where the patrons may be going. Like
yeah,
I
because
liked when they flipped that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're watching on like VR headsets so that they
Some and then
yeah
some are actually in the theater, which is dope too.
yeah
Like I was like, okay, like they did this smart. Yeah, it's totally cool. She found a place where her like skill set can work, which is her just being angry and kind of charmingly mad at things because she gets a speaking part. Like she's an actress. And then the crazy thing for me is about her character arc, she turns into like a coked up actress by the
hmm
end of it.
yeah
And it like almost tears her house apart.
yeah.
I
Well,
was like, whoa.
the story opens with that too when Hazel's like narrating. She's kind of like, "This is how my parents split up."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Okay, well, that's a tagline, so I don't think they're going to stay split up." But with Saga, you never know, and you can see the pressures of parenthood coming in here, trying to co-parent anyways. Marco's losing his mind because he's bored to tears. He needs to live a little. His wife
Right.
barely talks to him because she's working all the time, but she's working all the time so that she can provide for her family.
Right.
And that load of stress, yeah, gets her hooked on some intergalactic drug, and
She's got to buy more tape for Marco, right? Like Marco needs more tape for his face. So,
more fit. Yeah,
cause the face.
is it bandaged or tape?
I think it's funnier if it's tape
It's way
and like,
funnier if it's tape.
and then like more reusable, right? I can go through more tape because it's like, oh, yo, this got dirty. And it's like, it's not like I just used it outside. And it's like, need more tape mask. Because the more tape mask, the less I know it's Marco.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he gets his own little fantasy run too, right? He meets Ginny, who's that single mom
Dance
who,
T-shirt, yeah.
yeah, who's very open about what she wants with him.
Which
So
is fair.
there's a temptation, right? So it's like, okay, you can see where this is going. One's gonna be druggy, the other one's gonna cheat on them, and it's gonna fall apart. It doesn't quite happen that way, but it does definitely. They do go in those directions, right?
But we're even bearing the lead because I swear in the first issue back on this new arc, we catch up with Elena making out with her co-star.
Well, yeah,
And like,
that's for the job though.
okay, but like this is us walking into that world. So she's already like, whether or not her and Marco discuss that shit, like flip the dynamic of what a marriage is, right?
So she does mention it when she gets home, though. Right? She's like, "Mommy had to make out with the guy who tasted like ass or whatever for work." I can't remember what her exact words are, but Marco was right there too, right? So I'm assuming it's on the table.
But Marco never cheats. When Marco
No, but
gets
he is
the
very close.
opportunity to, because we can go back to the story of how he gets there, but the fact that he ends up at Ginny's house again, right? Like that's how close that relationship and friendship, whatever you want to call it, has become that he can knock on the door and be like, yo, I got kicked out. Can I crash here?
Yeah,
She's like, yes, come in.
yeah. Please come in. I'm alone. My husband's away.
Yeah, I like the flip of how they get Marco out of the house. The doll that Hazel needs to sleep with is what Marco sees in Ginny's house. And it's like, yo, I gotta bounce. And like saves him from making a dire mistake for the family.
Which honestly, you can't really even blame him because it's after a fight that him and Alana have, right, about her drug use and him throwing groceries at her. So it's like,
That's how it
so
starts.
yeah. So of course, he wants to find solace with another like a female who's actually showing him a bit of attention, right? And
Right.
then yeah, he sees his daughter's doll there that she left at one of the dance recital or dance lessons, and it kind of snaps him out of it. So he doesn't do the thing. Um,
I thought it was really good writing, man.
yeah,
Because it handled everything specifically and still gave the final like blow, which was I guess the craziest twist, which is what's her name? Zuma? Yuma?
Yuna.
Yuna. Yo, Yuna's a bitch.
Yeah, one and the crazy thing about Yuna is that
What are you doing, Yuna?
She's like the makeup artist, I guess, for the
Yeah,
hair and makeup for Open Circuit, but she's also the drug supplier, and she squeals like a pig when
immediately.
yeah. But what's interesting with that whole thing is that Alana is on Marco's case about taking their daughter out to the playground. She's like, "You got to be discreet. Nobody can know about him." But then she's at her job, telling everybody, well, not everybody, but she's
Yeah,
telling Una, and I guess a couple co-stars who she really is and where they're really from. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
but really, is that her mistake, or is that like you shouldn't have trusted Yuma because the one person you thought you should trust, you can't trust?
That's an Atlanta. You should be talking about your business, right? You're a drug dealer. You can tell your drug dealer everything.
I don't have a drug dealer.
So they do a good job letting the pressure build up in this between the two. Because the case for it's kind of soapy, but it's like nothing really lingers too long, so I like it. It's not like, oh my god, you broke. It's like, no, this one's doing this one's doing this. It comes to a head. They have a fight. They fall out a little bit, but then they're going to try and mend it back, or at least one of them is going to try and mend it back.
You're talking about Marco and
Yeah,
Alana.
Atlanta. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
talking about them specifically. Yeah.
their relationship is so strong and so real that like they get mad at each other and take like low blows, and the
Mhm.
low blows like could, if a chain reaction happens, fuck them up, and kind of a chain reaction happens, which is, I think, why this book I so enjoyed, because the writing makes it something so interesting that I didn't see that coming,
Yeah.
and I like how Hazel was on top of that from the beginning, even more so with the Prince Robot stuff that we haven't even talked about.
No, yeah, I
The
was gonna say there's a lot of threads to pull here.
storyline
We
was wild.
there's a lot of threads to pull here, right? So we covered like the Mark Alana thing with Ginny and Yuna, but then there's also Prince Robot has a story unfold there. He doesn't really show up to about halfway through the book. He's around, but he's not really in play.
Yeah, but that book starts with us meeting Baby Robot
That's right.
the
Yeah,
fifth, like
right out,
immediately.
right out the cooch. Boom.
Straight gash. I was like, okay, hello.
Which is a callback to the first issue, right? Because that's how it opens with Alana giving birth to Hazel.
It is a saga.
Yeah,
I will give them that. And this story introduces us to Dingo?
Dingo. Yeah. So there's
Dingo.
Prince Robot, there's King Robot, there's the Princess, and then there's also Dango. So there's a whole other pocket going on. Which in the end of the book, that story crossed paths with Marco and Alana's story, but
Yeah,
how we
smart.
get this arc or volume, I guess, is much more about how we're getting there. And Prince Robot is he failed to bring back this star-crossed couple back to his kingdom, so he
Right.
buries himself in fantasies in that.
Yeah, he spends what, like 28 days or like 21 days
Yeah, doesn't even
just
realize
in.
his son's born.
And when they wake him up, immediately I was like, yes, like this is the prince I want.
Yes,
And his story, even though condensed, got me to see him in so many different worlds and
yeah,
like wear so many like hats fast that I can see his final move finally linking up with uh,
Una.
Marco
Oh, Marco. Yeah,
being the smartest decision.
yeah,
Like they're both going to the same spot.
yeah.
Even the tease was like, huh, I'm not even mad that I have to wait for the next one. I'm just kind of proud that they did it so smart with Marco had the full run, but they only halved it for Prince
Prince Robot.
Robot. And they still caught each other right at the perfect point. I was like, oh, that's some smart writing. I
Yeah, it's
think I like, and that's just those two characters, right?
very, very well orchestrated. And like you said, there's Dango too. Do you want to talk about him? Or you want to leave him as a
How
surprise because he's that came out of
no,
nowhere. I like that.
how do you not talk about Dango?
I was like,
Dango's
God
like MVP of
damn.
this run. Yeah, like he's opposition that started off as a janitor and made his way up to the queen's bedroom, and the reverse bloodbath of like how he stabs his way out to get little baby, which was awesome. But the carnage that he had to come through to get there was the way that they reverse engineered that, and the art to lead back down to Dango's story. Wow.
Yeah, because for the first time we get a look at Prince Robot's planet. Right, there's a planet
Mhm.
of them, and it's very similar to because so far in this book we've had like the Prince Robots. So everybody with a TV on their head is kind of like the Empire, and they rule the
Mhm.
galaxy. But they also come from a planet of a bunch of TV head people, and a lot of them are like subjugated or just serfs, and they're grinded down by the royal families. And Dango
Which is
has
wild because like just to have the planet of the TV heads is like a hilarious Rick and Morty sort of flip anyway. The fact
it's
that we get to see it this way is so much cool because Saga is really intentional about how they build their worlds. So to get like just a brief glimpse of Prince Robot World is like okay, and then the characters in Prince Robot World, well, definitely made me laugh a couple of times.
yeah, because it's weird, right? It's like the story's real and the characters are very like down to earth and in the sense that they feel tangible, but then they look ridiculous, right? Especially
Hmm.
his you get the King robot where he's got this like 90
Giant
inch
flat
flat screen.
screen. It's so fat. It looks so fat
And it's
because the screen is so much bigger than his body. So like his body's got to be like smaller to just hold it up. But he's the entire page, which I just kept laughing. I couldn't stop laughing.
it's cut off constantly. Like his head, like two-thirds of his head is cut off in like almost every frame because they can't fit it. It's so stupid. Like but in
And
like
he's
in a funny way, like it's great.
and he's a dick. So that
Yeah.
combination is just amazing, right? Because he's just whipping around Prince Robot.
And so we haven't even mentioned it, but for Prince Robot, his whole beef right now is that he's out at like some basically whorehouse
Hmm.
from the first volume of the book, and he's in there and he's just having orgies left, right,
Yeah,
drowning
he's
himself.
doing his bachelor party, right? Like he
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
what's
yeah.
coming. Just like I'm
Drowning
enjoying it.
himself in his
Yeah.
sorrow from failure from the last volume, and then eventually one of the people that work there kind of waking up is like, "Oh, listen, we're not trying to interfere with your fantasies here, but wife's dead and your son was kidnapped." He's like, "I have a son." Like he didn't even realize that his
Yeah.
son was born. Yeah, and so his whole beef is that he's off to find his son who was kidnapped by another TV head, like we were talking about, Dango, who was subjugated on his old planet, right? So he's got the royal baby
Hmm.
and he's taking him to use him as like some sort of a rallying, like
Bartering
a
people like
MacGuffin.
peace. Yeah, like I have power and control
Yeah,
and lineage. You know, it's a smart move.
yeah.
Did we talk about how when Prince Robot wakes up and he realizes that he not only has been under for 21 days, but he has a son, he immediately blasts son's face off? Like, did we talk about that kill?
Oh,
Like he
the like the matrix,
he
the
can't. Yeah,
what would she
the
be
madame,
called? The
the
madame.
madame,
Thank you. Yeah,
yes. Like dead
yeah,
off his gunner, and like that's the beginning of his story. Like I
yeah.
thought that was an amazing intro. Sorry to cut you. I was just trying to remember that kill before we got into next man kills. Who do we flip to?
Dango.
Dango. Dango's been killing people. Like when the resistance comes through and like Dango's wheeling the baby,
Yeah,
but coming through with the spine and the head of like the human. I was like, this war is wild, and Dango is MVP. Like he
yeah.
was
He
crushing
is. Yeah.
constantly
How it ends is basically Prince Robot teaming up with Marco to track down Dango
and get his baby. Yeah.
and get his baby back. Yeah.
Do we even talk about Dango making it?
No, no, we don't have to give away every single detail. It's just like, yeah,
Okay.
it's yeah,
From Uni to Dango to Alana, those three characters now in their new next arc is wild.
yeah.
And then we get the screenshot of Prince Robot 4 and Marco, as you said. Yeah, it was a really, really good book.
I think it's probably the best one so far. But I mean, we rate it on a good or bad basis.
Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk
Boom,
about Gus?
boom for
No
good,
talk.
ba for
No Gus.
bad,
No Gus.
whoosh for I just read. I just want to get that out of the way before we start talking about how good this is because it is awesome. So it's a boom for me.
Yeah. Oh, boom. For
Who's
me.
Gus? The seal? Yeah. So I saw him. I was like, oh, that's Dank's guy.
Yeah, he is, man. He came axe through.
I hope he's in like every. I hope he's like the R2D2 or whatever. He's like in
Yeah,
everyone.
he should be the mascot. He should be the logical spirit for Saga. Because I do appreciate how this world has so many characters that you could just follow.
Oh, and you know what? Even though we've wrapped up that part, we did miss like the brand is looking. Who's the Will's sister is looking for him. after he was killed
Correct.
by Sophie, and she's with Gwendolyn, and it's like there's a whole pocket there that we even explore. But that's because that's like tertiary to the story. But it's
And not to bury your lead, I was literally going to say we could even talk about just the Lion Cat because the Lion Cat
Lion
has
Cat.
its
Yeah.
own little arc.
So I like how it's progressing the story. It's moving things along. It's introducing new characters, but not letting you forget about the old ones. And like you'll pay attention here because these guys are going to be important in a little bit, right?
And the connections and the revelations between those characters because now it's really cross blending with this time jump. A lot of characters that we had to see go on their separate journeys and kind of disappear in the new book are now crossing heads, and I was like, okay, like there's making some interesting bedfellows. I guess the term would be solid, solid, solid.
New meats.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe wherever podcasts are heard. Also, give a follow on Comic Patrol Pod at Instagram and Comic Patrol Pod on YouTube. Hit us up at comicpatrolpod at gmail if you want to add a submission for future arc analysis.